Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent, and currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world-famous juggler Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Fantastic. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm doing very well. I just got back from a cruise a bit ago that we'll talk about a little bit later following our review. Also with us, Flesh Wound producer Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Chilling.
As always.
Clark's poster back there, man. It's looking good.
Yeah, so let's talk about your guys' attire before we begin. First, I'll go with Todd. I should say your background. You have the Clerks Uncensored post. That's new. You didn't have that.
Well, if you want a peek behind the curtain, I'm currently rearranging stuff, and there's actually an empty shelf back there. So I didn't have a big empty shelf.
I completely understand. Okay. Now, Greg, you're wearing, would you like to describe what you're wearing to the audio audience?
This is the Kevin Smith Buddy Christ hockey jersey from the movie Dogma. And it even says "Be Christ" on the back, which is fantastic. And I'm wearing my live hat, although, because English, it could be live for Easter, and it's kind of got a cross going on there too. So it was just fun to walk around with the whole attire together.
Good to know.
Let's talk about your gear, Ozzy.
I miss football.
Yeah, it's fair.
I miss football. That's where I'm at right now. And it's funny, in the situation that I'm in, I shouldn't say situation is a bad thing. I have a girlfriend. She has a 12-year-old son, so there's a lot of family stuff we do. So the time spent that I used to spend playing video games or like watching sports or basically free time kind of becomes very limited, right? So when there was an Easter gathering today that we went to, and there was golf on the TV, and I had some weird interest in golf that I'd never had before. Like, it's like, hey, that's kind of a sport, and you can kind of sit down and just watch this, and it'll be perfectly okay. So I tried to sit down and watch the golf, and then it ended just as I sat down. And then I sat back up and poured myself some Tito's, and everything was fine. So this week, ladies and gentlemen, in celebration of April Fool's Day, we are reviewing the 2023 film Fool's Paradise, written and directed by Charlie Day, which was released on May 12th, 2023 last year. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
I do.
Patient has lost the ability to speak.
He's not deaf, and he's technically not mute.
With the proper amount of care, it's possible that he could regain his understanding of the world, his ability to speak.
What's our first course of action?
Well, the state is not going to pay for any of that, so we are going to put his ass on the first bus downtown.
What do you mean he won't get out of the trailer? Get in. Take a look at this guy.
What about him?
He's a dead ringer for you.
The man don't look nothing like me. I mean, look at him. He's too short.
Get finished the day for you. Action. Cut. Latte pronto.
Excuse me, Mr. Pronto. Can I call you Latte?
Latte!
Latte pronto.
Latte Pronto.
Is that your name? Amazing.
You and me are gonna do big things, pal.
And respect, bro.
Move, stars coming through.
Welcome to your team. You got me, your agent, got your manager, lawyer, publicist, personal assistant, plus we got you an intern.
You have got a big film premiere tomorrow night. Does that make you a little nervous?
The This was a gift from Prince Harry. It was one of the original Knights of the Round Table sword or something. Can't really remember because I wasn't listening when he gave it to me.
Make love to me, latte.
Bing, bang, boom. A million dizzy fiddles playing. Bing, bang, boom. Began to take my breath away. Bing, bang, boom. I'm jumpy as a jumping.
The phone is not ringing.
Don't worry, pal. I'll get us back on top.
I know you think what's been happening to your career is accidental. Everything is by design.
Who are you really, Latte Pronto?
Bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang,
And play time!
Gotta get down, big time.
That was the trailer for Fool's Paradise Again, released on May 12th, 2023. Rated R with a runtime of 98 minutes, written and directed by Charlie Day, also starring Charlie Day with Ken Jeong, featuring several cameos and co-starring spots.
Including a cameo from Charlie Day, too.
Yeah.
That's correct. Initial thoughts on this. I was very excited to see it because during the pandemic, I became familiarized with Always Sunny. So to hear that Charlie Day was going to write and direct a whole movie after, I can't remember the name of the specific episode, but it was when the bar was being reviewed by some sort of health agency. And that was the one episode where Charlie was in charge of everything. And right. But I had heard my old roommate, I doubt he's watching, but Porter, if he's watching, when we watched that episode, or maybe as actually Todd, you might have told me, but there was one continuous shot that just follows him throughout like a string of like 4 minutes.
Right.
It's just one continuous shot, and it was really impressive to see pulled off, and it was really entertaining to see. So it was kind of excited to see what a whole movie he could do with 90 minutes, 98 minutes to be exact. But
and basically mute other than his other cameo.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that shortly. But
this is actually the first time I saw the trailer, because when I went to see it, it was sight unseen just on Charlie Day alone.
Right. Yes. That was same goes for me. Greg?
This wasn't on my radar. And I'm a huge Chaplin fan, and I felt like this kind of had that Great Dictator kind of idea. And if you've never seen The Great Dictator, fantastic film, highly suggest it. Didn't quite have the big dramatic moment that The Great Dictator had, but phenomenal film it is. But I was excited once I kind of got the idea of what the premise was, and love Charlie Day. Didn't realize the amazing cast of people because I didn't watch the trailer either going into it. So it was a constant surprise as we went through everything. So I was very excited for this one going into it.
Yes. Also love your citing of The Great Dictator, not to be confused with The Great Dick, as I hear it has a great climax. But anyhow, Todd, do you have any? Todd, do you have any other initial thoughts?
Oh well, now I got to remember what I was going to say. Jeez.
No, I mean, I can't remember if we saw this in the theater last year when it came out.
I don't remember.
It came out like 2 weeks after Blackberry, or like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, they were
Blackberry,
right next to each other.
We happened to walk into the same showing.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that or this?
I know that was Blackberry for sure.
Yeah, it's just one, like, I love, like, It's Always Sunny, Charlie Day. He's always good, and it was perfect. Who was the one person missing though? There was no Mac.
There was no Mac. I was curious if there was some sort of scheduling.
I'm still not sure who the guy who, like, we get, like, throws something at him in the hospital. We never see his face. Why we need a director's commentary, but it's obviously someone
who throws something at his face.
Like, he's in a hoodie and it's over his head, and they're like, I don't know if he threw it at his face, but he throws something at him and he talks shit as he walks into the elevator.
Oh, he says,
Mosquito Boy sucked.
Yes.
That was not. No, you see him.
You don't see his face.
That wasn't Mac though.
No, I'm saying it
he
wasn't,
was
but I want to
tall.
know. I'm curious who that was. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, because it's filled with a tiny, like, especially his fiance. You also had what's the
waitress,
but also you had one of the brothers and the pilot driving the plane. Like, it was just filled with it, and it was kind of fun watching it in the theater because you could tell who were fans. I can
only think of his last name.
Ponderosa guy in the Ed McMahon role.
Yes.
That was fantastic. But you could tell in the theater who were fans of the show because they kept popping it every time you saw one of these guys, and you could tell who wasn't. Like, there's people that are just like want to see a movie, like, and not sure why people are so excited. But yeah, it was really fun. There's a lot of great moments, but especially the line at the end of the trailer delivered by Jason Bateman was great. Any part of Sudeikis' scene was great. But personally, I'm gonna let you guys go first on this one. I've been stealing it a lot, and
all right, Greg, go for it.
Oh man, I get to pick out of all these wonderful scenes. I'm sorry, but there's a man right over your shoulder that stole an entire 10 minutes of spotlight. Common and everything that man did in this film was side-splitting laughter. So, I mean, there's so many great opportunities and great moments in this film, but man, everything that came from those scenes was just gold.
That I totally got you. Yeah, absolutely. Todd?
All right, mine's kind of a long one because I really have to set up because the payoff's what I loved. Okay, they're having a conversation. What is wait, hold on, let me just double check character name. Fuck it. Oh, yeah, Adrian Brody, Chad Lust. Okay,
yeah.
So, hold on, I made sure I notepadded it. To really experience something, you have to completely shut it out. I did that with my ex-wife too. I didn't talk to her or look at her for a month. She didn't get it. Funny by itself. The movie premiere. You just see him in the background, put his fingers in his ears and close his eyes. I lost it. It's like, all right.
Yes, absolutely. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching his facial expressions throughout the entire, kind of like a call to Chaplin, where he just really emphasized a lot of these expressions, and a lot of this times it was like, what the hell is going on? Like, you got a lot of that, but what was the most entertaining to see was John Malkovich's scene.
Yes.
With his gigantic monologue, and what is happening with all that stuff was hilarious, and the way it ended was great. I was cracking up. So, I watched the scene twice, to be honest. I went 1.5 times because I started it midway, and I was like, wait, I want to sit down and enjoy this, because I was, I had anyhow, really enjoy it, and it was a fantastic performance from him. And it really helped with the facial expression. I mean, you could take that piece of dialogue and put it right into the climax of a drama movie, like a political drama, and it would fit just fine. But because it keeps cutting back to his face, it just makes everything great.
Yeah.
It's twisting you each time, and it's hilarious. So going into the rating of this, I do feel it's a much better movie than it is a comedy, because there's kind of a lull in some points, but that's more just the lull on the humor, because you're still I mean, at least I can say for me that I was intrigued by the story of how it began, and you don't need to find out why he is the way he is to want to see how this story unfolds. And I thought it was a nice movie. And for those that can't stomach, I know that there's a small percentage of people out there that can't really hang with stupid comedies. This is not one that I would call a stupid comedy, although it does make fun of a lot of things in a paradoxical paradoxical way. Am I saying this correctly? I apologize. I got ill a little bit later. My mistake. But the overall story itself is a good thread that keeps everything held together and doesn't seem like complete chaos. Greg, sorry.
No, so there's actually I don't want to say there's a director's commentary officially, but I did find on YouTube there's a guy, he's got a series called Let's Shoot with Pete Chapman. It's Chatmon, and he actually interviewed Charlie Day, and part of that, and it's about directing and all that fun stuff. It's kind of what he does, and he did interview him about this movie, and Charlie Day had said that he had such a different direction in where this movie was originally intended to go, and I highly suggest checking out the interview just to see all the different twists and turns and what it was compared to what it is now. He did end up loving what this was, but didn't seem the happiest with it. So I'm curious what it would have been before. But I'm happy to hear see where it went, because what it could have been, I don't know, but I still love this film. I thought it was great. Had its humor, had some great acting throughout, great drama throughout certain moments. I'm going to give it a 5, just because I mean, I laughed, I was entertained. Like, there was no point where I was disappointed in it. And it really was a great, fun story.
I agree with you. I apologize. I realized I didn't give it an actual number rating, and I think that's what you're waiting for. My mistake. Still rusty from this effing cruise that I need to get on another one. I apologize. It is 5 for me. Todd? Please go on.
Yeah, this, like, everything about this picture, it's got the, you got all the great people from It's Always Sunny. It's a Hollywood picture. I like Hollywood pictures, like movies about movies.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to see like parts of LA you don't typically see in those types of movies too, as he's wandering around, and so like everything all together, it's definitely something that I watch over, and it's probably my 3rd time I've seen it now. I'm a 5.
It's 5 from all of us, and this can actually be seen as of right now. Easter, March 31st, can be seen on Hulu. So if anyone with the Hulu subscription, you feel free to check that out. It's a high recommendation from all of us.
Yeah.
And now you can watch Hulu on your Disney Plus app.
Yeah.
Oh, is that true?
Fool's Paradise on
wow.
Disney.
Well, there you go. All right.
There's some funny movies that pop up on your Disney Plus.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Interesting.
Who doesn't want to watch The Omen on Disney Plus?
Look, from Bluey to The Omen, life is.
All right. So last time we had a segment that was the Aussie TV show segment. If you don't mind, I could get into this, but if there's anything else you guys want to, I don't want to take anything else away from this, but it was a recommendation for us. Okay. So in this week's episode, it is the cruise episode of us on the cruise ship, right? And it was a great time. We went to Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Cabo, and got some jet skis. It was it was just great. So let's go into the actual episode itself. There's a drinks package, as you know, where you can have up to 15 drinks a day, right? Per person. So I'm just drinking all kinds. And I was pretty hammered by the 3rd day. It took me a while to actually get to that point. It's almost like I couldn't fully unwind, but we had gone to this Family Feud show that was on the ship, and it was like an adult themed show. So I had gotten really drunk. We got there early, so we got one of the front row seats, and we had a table in front of us, which was perfect. And somebody came up to us and we were like the last persons to grab this front row. There was no more seats in the front row. He says, excuse us, we have some deaf guests that need to sit up here because we have the interpreter sitting up here. Like, okay, yeah, no problem. We'll just grab the seat over there. Can we take the table? Because we really want the table. Yeah, go ahead, take the table. Okay, cool. So we get this table, which is cool. We put our drinks on. So the show starts, and I start doing that. You guys know that loud Ozzy voice. I'm going to turn down my mic a little bit because I'm going to be gay a little bit louder. But it was like this. Yeah, good answer. Right. And it was like loud, right? I am hammered and I'm top of my lungs. Everybody's like looking at me. That was the best part. What's that?
I was just saying, did you start chanting one of us?
Dang it. Next time. But it was anytime I went to one of these shows, I was that loud. Like there was a deal or no deal. And like, okay, we got to boo the banker. Boo! You know, I gotta turn this down again. Boo! You suck! I gotta be quiet. It's 10 o'clock now. Okay. Gotta consider the neighbors above us. So anyhow, Family Feud, I'm doing this, yeah, good answer every single time. And there's a question that is, name something that men love beginning with the letter B. We all know what the number one answer is going to be, right?
Right.
So I immediately...
Well, it can go either way. Depends on who they surveyed, what mall they were at, what area that mall was in.
Sure. But it was interesting right before they asked this question, the deaf people were turning at me and like kind of like smiling and laughing. And I turned to my girlfriend. I was like, can they hear me? Because we moved because they need an interpreter. And they're looking at me and laughing at after everything I'm saying. Right.
Well, hearing impaired doesn't mean, deaf.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I learned. And I was ignorant at the time. I apologize if I offended anyone. But the question was, name something begins with the letter B that men love. Number or whatever this answer was, guy yells breasts. And I yell, great answer. And then I'm just like crazy, like going nuts about it, right? And the host starts kind of like busting up, and he like looks over. He's like, "You must be a boobs guy," and I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And then like again, the deaf people like looking over, laughing, and
the hearing
people that were like right next to us, I think, were embarrassed or like, "Oh my god, shut up, dude!" But there was like a good chunk of the theater.
That's when you get even worse.
You're so right. I feed on that energy, and I like when we went to this newlywed one, I got that vibe, and I almost got louder because I kept hearing this lady say, "We can go move over there." And I'm like, "Good, you're in my way. Come on, this works." So finishing that story, after the show's over, one of the hearing impaired couple come over, and she comes up to me and she says, "My interpreter was signing everything you were saying."
That's even better.
When it stands out that much, you've done well.
Interpreter's like, you ain't missing this shit.
Now, but had I known that, I would have looked at her like after everything I was saying. So, like after I want to see what the interpretation was of her when the host said, "You must be a boobs guy." So, that was the part one of. Now we're at commercial break, right? And at this time, I'd like to advertise for Bricks and Minifigs that is located in Orange. You can actually go to the site. The Bricks and Minifigs I went to is located in Orange, but they have a website that's bricksandminifigs.com. Sells discontinued Lego sets. It's awesome. I got a Lego R2-D2 that was gifted by my fabulous girlfriend that's controlled with my app. I can't wait to build it. Okay, now we return to our program, Ozzy's TV show on the cruise.
Did you get us the sponsorship at least? Come on, did you tell them?
I'm getting discounted Legos off of this. Okay, so back on the cruise.
Let's start calling you Shawn Michaels. Such a shill.
I don't, when it comes to Legos, I don't care. All right. There's too many cool things out there.
That's fair.
Greg, Dream Theater set. I know, right?
I want it so bad.
Okay. Just the last thing on this before we return to the program. They actually sell completed models, right? They have a friends to apartment thing, in the hallway. It's insane. I've never seen sets completed like that you can just take home like that. So check it out. Discontinued sets and all sorts of sets. Again, Brixton Minifigs. You can check out the site brixtonminifigs.com for your closest store. All right. Please be sure to mention me, Ozzy V, that sent you there. All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled program of Ozzy's TV show on the cruise ship. It's about 2:20 in the morning. And Todd, if I send you a photo right now, would you be able to share it?
Yes.
Okay. So it's about 2:20 in the morning. And we notice that the moon is setting. And I have the camera on my phone picks up night shots really well. So I want to share these photos real quick with you guys and everybody because it's such a weird. And Todd, I've just sent this. So the moon was setting. It was about 2:20 in the morning. And we just happened to be right place, right time because we tried to do it again and around the same time, and it wasn't even close. But again, the night shot was pretty wild. So the last shot is going to be the one of the moon when it was high up, but just how the clouds were set, right?
We're doing this a different way now, so you got.
I apologize. I'm sorry. This came up spur of the moment because, I'm that prepared as being a fool, I guess, on April Fool's Day. Yes. So this is the moon setting, right? It looks like a ship going down that's made of fire. That's almost going down or whatever, right? We move to the next photo. It's basically at the horizon, right? And this was around 2:20. So we try to go later in the week around the same time. But we pull this photo, go to the last one that I sent you. And that looks like it's daylight, but that's actually at night. And I just want to take a picture of the clouds, but it was amazing how it came out, right? Incredible. So this was now 2:45 in the morning and we're in line for pizza. And as soon as because my girlfriend asks for fresh pizza, so we wait for it to be done. It's 3 a.m., 3:05 when it's done. We're walking to eat and we see all these people that we figure probably done at the club because they probably ended things at 3, and so they're all going to get pizza. So we see a couple that's walking towards the direction of this place, and my girlfriend likes the outfit that this girl is wearing, and she says, "I like your outfit," and the response was, "That's nice," and she just keeps on walking. We can go back to normal, Todd, but she just keeps on doesn't even change a face, and we pause, we look at each other and just start laughing. Because we didn't believe that was and then we sat down. She was trying to give the person the benefit of the doubt. She's like, what if that person didn't know English that well and that was her way of saying you're welcome? I'm like, no, she didn't even smile. She didn't look at you. That's not normal in any culture, right? And what's even worse is we kept running into her later that night, as we're walking around trying to find our place or whatever. And even worse is that she's walking with somebody. They're going wherever, looking for the bathroom. And she says, sorry, thank you to them. And it's this happened right in front of us. It was very strange. So this concludes this week's episode of Ozzy's TV show, which doesn't actually have a real climax, or at least one I could really describe that doesn't make people nauseated. All right, so that concludes this week's episode of Fool's Paradise. This will continue next week with a new episode that will be revealed at that time, just in case there's any emergencies. I don't want to go ahead and kill anything. So You guys have anything else before we head out for the evening?
Just that I'm happy to announce that Bricks and Figs is only 44 minutes away from me in San Ramon, California.
Yes.
It looks like they are also in Arizona, Colorado, Florida. So it's not just a Southern California thing.
Okay, well, I will say that when I went to the store, this guy said he was the owner.
Awesome.
But I'm only advertising for them because I like what they're doing with their stores. So
very cool.
If anybody mentions Ozzy V at the Orange location, that'd be fantastic. Orange, California, of course, I mean. All right. So that concludes this week's episode. We'll see you next week on a brand new episode. I should say, I apologize. I was doing that backwards. So Flesh Wound producer Todd and world famous juggler Greg Larson. I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.